So what I'm going to do today is a quick cleanup. So there's a few options you can use. You can use a variety of either or, but basically it's just your end of a game wicket cleanup. So you're just picking up any of the loose dirt and things like that, grass clippings that are just sitting on the top that you don't want to leave on the surface, because over time they will actually degrade your pitch and make it dusty, potentially make thatch layers, things like that. So you want to try and clean up your wicket after every game. You can do it straight after the game if you want to, depending on what your scenario is. Like here in Darwin, because the games sort of go to about 6 o'clock, sometimes go over 6 o'clock on a Sunday, then you've only got about half an hour of light before before it's dark, so you don't really have time to come in on a Sunday afternoon and clean up your wicket, but you also want to get the water on as well. So you've got to just weigh up what's the best option for you. It's never too late to clean it up. So today's Wednesday, I'm giving this wicket a clean up. I'll water in the ends afterwards once I top dress the bits that have been kicked out, and then we'll go from there. All right. So just a couple of bits of equipment that you might need. So you got your lawn level, your broom or your thick bristle broom, just a shovel, flat mouth square shovel, and your clay. Right. Also a rotary mower, which can act as a vacuum. So some people do a bit more of a full-on job than others, so you can use a vacuum as well. So just a billy goat or a Victor vac, and also go over afterwards. So to begin with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just brush out these ends, and then I might run the broom over the whole wicket as well, and then go over with the rotary mower, and then I'll fill in the ends with areas of clay that have lost their level. So to start with, that's what I'm going to do, and then once you finish, put the clay down, just level it off with that. Okay, you can also knock it in a bit, or if you got a tamper or something like that. Just depends on how far you want to go. Like if it's particularly bulky clay and it's not fine, you might even want to go over it with a roller, just so it just takes as soon as it gets wet, rather than sort of just sitting there on the top and potentially peeling off, or just getting kicked out again. All right. So I'll start off with brushing it out these ends. So I've done the ends there, so I haven't really taken much out. Just make sure you, in the low spots, you really scratch out any of the organic matter that's just stuck in the clay there, so you get a good seal or good take with the other clay getting keyed into it. If you're concerned about the clay taking, you can scratch it out with your weeder or just a peg or something like that, just to try and get it to take a bit better. But other than that, it should be alright if you're watering it nicely, and then once you start mowing over it, when your normal mowing cycle, it should be fine. The other thing is, with this sort of level of cricket, the higher level of cricket, the more kick out you're going to go. So we're going to have to really focus on the batting crease for refilling the clay. Whereas if you go up to first grade, down south, premier grade, or futures league and things like that, that's when you start getting real big wear areas, and you're getting your kick out further down the wicket. You've got to do an even more thorough job of cleaning it out, because you're starting to come into the area of play for the cricket or for the ball. So, all right, so I'm just going to run down the broom down the whole pitch. It's not exactly a fun job, but let's do it. Not exactly a fun job, this one. You want a long broom as well, a long handle, otherwise it becomes real difficult to get that real momentum behind it when you're brushing. Okay, that's a little bit intense work for the afternoon. Yeah, you can see there it's just disturbing that top bit of dead leaf, any of the stem that's dead or broken off, just disturbing it. So when we go over with the rotary, we can just suck it straight up and get it nice and going. The combi rake, which is really popular in the UK, that is actually a brilliant piece of equipment to do that sort of thing with, because it really gets in. It's got a bit of a wire, really fine wire, and just drags it, lifts it all up, and gets you actually going with cleaning up your wicket a bit better than just the way it is now. Particularly because we've got that heavier clay, and you really push out organic matter in. You really want to try and disturb the top. All right, so we're going to go over rotary mower and then fill it in at the end. cleaned it up a fair bit. You know, you can start seeing the soil there exposed, particularly around the wear areas. From there, if you want to be a bit more thorough, you can run your rotary over your side wicket here, where you know there has been a bit of chop out around here, a bit of deck stuff and so on. Okay, from where the runner and you know people running down through during the course of an over and so on, or the course of the game, umpire wear and tear, etc. You don't have to do that, but if you're looking to go to that next level and get a bit better recovery and things like that, you can do that as well. I'm not going to do it today because later in the week I'm going to cut that wicket down as well, shave that down, as it's the last wicket where we haven't really chopped out all the woody stuff, and it's obviously the last wicket hasn't been used yet. So now I'll just fill in these ends with a bit of clay and level it out, and then give it a hand water. So I haven't used too much clay there. So when you rub it in, actually rub it in. Don't just, you know, do little gentle stuff like this or whatever. Give it a good into it, rub it into the area. Helps break the clay up a little bit better as well. So that's rubbed in pretty nice and easy. There's a few chunky bits, they're a bit bigger, you know, you can kick them out or take them out. Also just look for any rocks or anything like that that might be in there that could be in there as contamination. And also just watching out for your blades on your moles and things like that, because your clay doesn't always come that clean. So it's always good just to have a little quick look as well, see if there's any small stones or rocks there that could do some damage to your equipment. So I'm just going to water in now, water each end in, and then that's pretty much a cleanup. So you're ready to go from there. that's basically it. Some people do like to put a bit of seed and so on in with their clay if you particularly like the ryegrass, which germinates pretty quickly and you get strong growth. If you've got particularly extensive damage, some people like to sod rather than seed. You know, there's a lot of things you can do depending on how much time you've got. Personally, I think clubland, you're not going to have that big a wear unless you're getting a lot of use. So you should be able to, you know, get away with just making sure you're putting plenty of juice, doing real good cleanups at the end, and keep an eye on how your grass is actually travelling. Give it its fert once a month, every 6 to 8 weeks, sort of thing, and you should get the recovery you need. If you thrash a wicket out, obviously that's a different story. But if you're bouncing, doing good rotations, you shouldn't have any need to really do too much work with the ends, other than what we've just done here. As we look at the square in general, but all the ends are recovering really nicely. Okay, they haven't had a heap of cricket yet, obviously, as well, but you know, they're filling the root structure's there, the grass is popping up back straight out after a week or two. So I'm confident I wouldn't have to seed out here or do any plugs or anything like that unless I had a serious issue come through. That's basically the gist of it. If you've got any feedback about it, make sure you comment, like, share. Really want you to get involved and active with the page. So follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Start tagging your mates. Anybody you know is a curator. If you've got some feedback, again, shoot it in. All right, cheers.